Hello and welcome back to Position Plus Consultants. Today morning we had a beautiful session with a small set of participants who belong to the same work team at a company. And we were discussing about anger management. One emotion, one human emotion that we all are not very proud of because we don't know how to deal with it. There are 5 beautifully made steps for managing your anger, and I felt like sharing with a larger audience today. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, starting with A, the toughest one, awareness. We all struggle here at this stage only because we are not aware that we are landing up into this anger zone where our reactions, our words and our actions are not going to be correct. We are going to definitely regret it later. But we are busy blaming on the situation, timing, people around us or the person part of the conflict. And so we are not aware about this. But this awareness is the key thing to handle your anger. Once you are aware that this is where you are heading now and this is going to be an impulsive reaction which you are going to regret for your lifetime maybe, the next step comes. Next, my favorite step, B, breath, breathing. Why my favorite? Because it is solution to almost all problems. And with breathing, I don't mean you start doing your Kapalbhati or any pranayam in middle of a conflict conversation because that's really not practical, right? With breathing, I just mean that you need to bring your conscious attention to your breath. No deep breath. Normal breath. Just bring your conscious attention to your breath. While I'm talking to you, without you guys realizing, I have consciously brought my attention to my breath. And as soon as a human being is doing this, automatically the breathing becomes normal, because when you are angry, or for that matter also nervous or anxious, your breathing is not normal. So, if you consciously bring your attention to your breath automatically becomes normal, which is like a big battle won, because it brings back your senses. Then third one, C, A, B, C, counting. Count from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1. Or if anger is at peak, you might need to count to 50. But start counting in your head and don't miss on the conversation. So keep it short. But the point is, you are aware, you have brought your attention to your breath and now you have started counting in your head. That means that you are getting your all senses back for sure. And once this is done, move on to the fourth step, which is distance. Sometimes you need to be distant from the person emotionally, and sometimes you need to have a distance from that situation physically. So that means you might have to leave the room or that space for some time. Maybe go to the loo, take a break, have a coffee, drink some water. But once you are out of that situation, you are able to analyze that situation in a more positive and more practical manner, because inside the conflict, your perspective is completely different. So you need to step back and look at it holistically. And you're doing all this, mind me, you're doing all this while you are in a conflict with a person who is actually trying to instigate or provoke you. Mostly. So I never said these steps are easy. Now when you're distancing yourself, sometimes for a longer period of time and sometimes only for a few minutes or few seconds also, it works. And when you're done with this 4 steps, the 5th step comes organically, which is emotional control, E. Now you are actually in control of all your emotions and your actions and your words, because you have been able to analyze the situation. Maybe tell yourself that it's okay, it's not that big deal. You can ignore it, you can just let it go, it will come back in its time. The person in the conflict maybe is having a bad day, he or she just didn't mean this. This is his character, this is how they behave, They don't mean literally personally to you. There's no personal attack. These kind of answers will automatically start popping up in your head because you have done all these 4 steps and reached the 5th one. You're trying to get a balanced control over the situation emotionally now. And then you can express yourself. If needed, to the people in the conflict, sometimes just to yourself. If you're done with this, or if you're not able to do this 5 steps, just do one thing. Do not hold a grudge for too long. No conflict can be so important that you hold for months or years. Trust me, it's not worth that attention. Just let it go. To hold a problem for some period of time is okay, but to hold it for years is just going to make you numb. It's going to completely damage you. So do not hold a grudge or a conflict in your head and heart for too long, because it is not worth it. I hope on that note you have a wonderful week ahead. Good luck. Good